Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. I thank you again for joining me today. Today, I want to talk about unbelieving spouses. Yes, when we're called out, we might be called out while we're married, and our belief systems might change and might change for the better. And then, of course, your spouse is not called out and they're not a believer at all. They're just going through life and that's it. But what do you do? That's the question. What do you do? There's a few things you can do, and I'm going to get into the scriptures, and we're going to dive into this. So first, I just want to say, if you go to Matthew 19:7, where Yeshua he talks about uh, a man and woman, they come together and they become one flesh. They become married, and that he got that from Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. And man and woman come together and they get married, have kids, and so forth, and share life together, partners in life. And anyways, I'm gonna go to First Corinthians chapter 7. We'll start out verse 8. I'm gonna go to verse 8 to 17. If you have a Bible, man, check up on me and follow along. It says here, Paul says, I say therefore unto the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. If they, but if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. Burn with passions and commit fornication, things like that. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the master, let not the wife depart from the husband. And if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife. But to the rest speak I, not the master, if any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she is pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And the woman which hath a husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy. So the believing spouse, by believing, is sanctifying not just the spouse, husband, whatever, the children too. They're not unclean. Uh, but if the unbelieving depart, let them depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but Elohim hath called us to peace. So, in other words, if they want to go, you have no choice. You have to let them go. If they can't bear to be, with you, and you can't do nothing about it. But what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband, or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife? But as Elohim hath distributed every man as the master has called every one, so let him walk, and so ordain I and all assemblies. So, of course, there's two choices. If you have a unbelieving spouse, they have a choice to stay and put up with it, or they just leave. And you can't stop it. You can do the best you can. And I don't encourage a believer to actually try to convert their unbelieving spouse. I don't, because that's not going to work. It's just going to push them further away. It's going to push them further away. But by deeds and actions, now that's a different story. If you do deeds and actions and start improving, and even by your faith, that it says something. By your faith, the unbeliever might look at you and think, oh, if they're going by this, there might not be no infidelity involved. Most likely, if a true believer would not commit adultery or anything, or sneak around, or steal, or lie, or things like that. But I'm gonna go to First Peter. First Peter has something to say too. First Peter and chapter 3. Chapter 3. I'm going to start with, it's going to be verse 1 here. Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by conversations with the wife, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. So just he's saying wives, but it could, go for husbands too. It's basically it's like, by the actions. You could win a unbeliever over by your actions of faithfulness, love, and everything else. They could see your life improving. You're getting blessed and everything, and in a way, they're sort of getting blessed, and because they're with you and sanctified, and a lot of times that wins people over. Not most of the time, but there are cases where stuff like that happens. So you got, like I said, you got two choice. You got, the unbeliever, he could stay with her, put up with her, let her enjoy, love her faith, newfound faith, whatever, and or he could just, they could up and leave, whoever it is, a man, or husband or wife, they can leave, but it's out of control if they leave. You can't force them. You can't force a spouse to stay with you. But anyways, I want to go to Luke. Jump back to Gospel of Luke. Luke and what? 14:25. Luke 14 and verse 25. And this is the cost of following Yeshua. And there went great multitudes of them, and turned and said to him, if any man come to me and hate not his father, his mother, and wife, and children, and brethren, and sister, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whosoever does not bear his stake and come after me cannot be my disciple. So that's another thing right there. You got a believing spouse, unbelieving spouse, and you gotta put Yeshua and Yahweh first. And if an unbelieving spouse also tries to mess with you as far as, throw a monkey wrench into your holy gears or whatever, you can't put up with that. You got to put Yeshua and Yahweh first, and that's what the scripture says right here. You got to put him first. Take up your stake, follow him. And it's hard to do. It really is. It's very hard to do, because you still, even though they're unbelievers, you still have feelings for them. You have heart for them. You love them. That you might share children with them, a life, house, everything. But that's what Yeshua said, and look up that scripture. And now I'm going to go to the Gospel of John 15. I'll go to John 15. And yeah, what was it? 15, verse 18. I'm going to start with that. And this is important. If the world hate you, you know that it hate me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own, but because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than the master. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hateth me hateth my Father also. If I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin, but now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father. But this cometh to pass that the word might be fulfilled, that is written in their law. They hated me without a cause. You can find that in Psalms chapter 35, verse 19. But when the Comforter is come unto, I will send unto you from the Father, even the Spirit of truth, which proceedeth from the Father. He shall testify of me. And you also shall bear witness, because you have been with me from the beginning. So the world hates the believers because they stand up for righteousness, goodness, and everything else. And sometimes we gotta take the stand. We gotta make a make a life altering choice. And a life altering choice, if you have a spouse and the spouse is trying to obstruct you from your faith and believing and following Yeshua and Yahweh, you got to make a choice. Say, no, I got to follow them. I got to choose them, because, like it said there, the world hates us. It's plain and simple. The world hates us. They hate us because we stand for good and righteousness, and we want, we're just types. We just want love. We want peace, and stuff like that. But there's just a lot of uneducated people out there, or evil people out there that don't want it, and they do anything to stop it. I mean, it's not right or anything. I don't know what their mentality comes from, but some of it does come from the devil himself, and then it comes from their upbringing, who they are, stuff like that. And anyways, I just wanted to share that with you because people have unbelieving spouses and stuff like that. They don't know what to do, and they just got to get into scriptures, dig into scriptures. And if you're watching this video and you're in that situation, look up, take the notes, look up the uh, sayings I said in the scripture. Look them up for yourself, examine them, study them, and everything else, and pray, and to Yahweh and Yeshua, thank Him for your life and everything. But it's a dramatic type of decision you'd have to make, so it's a hard one. And Yahweh knows best. Keep faith in Him and Yeshua. And I thank you again for joining me. Please give me a big thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and also subscribe. I could use some more subscribers and friends. And I thank you again for joining me. And until we meet again, peace out and shalom.